26 knots down the Eagle. 106 interval is a Rhino at 5. Sure, sir. 07 on flat path on course 1 mile. Sure, sir. 07 on flat path on course.
In September of 2013, British-born American citizen Luke Summers was kidnapped by a group of armed men in the Yemeni capital of Sana'a. For over a year, American intelligence services worked extensively to try and find Luke's whereabouts, and it wasn't until late November of 2014 that he and 12 other hostages were tracked down to a cave in eastern Yemen. Based on the latest intelligence available, American and Yemeni special forces executed an operation on the 27th of November to rescue the 13 men, and although 8 were successfully freed, the other 5 hostages, including Luke Summers, were not found on the objective, with it later being revealed that they had been moved to a different location a few days prior. In the aftermath of this operation, the group of insurgents holding Luke captive published a video on the 4th of December 2014 in which Mr. Summers could be seen pleading for his life. At the same time, the insurgents issued an ultimatum to the US government, stating that unless they paid Luke's ransom money within 3 days, he would be killed. We warn Presidents Barack Obama and the American government of the consequences of proceeding ahead in any other foolish action. We give the American government a time frame of 3 days from the issuance of this statement to meet our demands about which they are aware. Otherwise, the American hostage held by us will meet his inevitable fate. On receipt of this ultimatum, a renewed effort to find Luke Summers was launched, and using intelligence gathered from the previous operation, it was not long before a compound in the Yemeni village of Hassin bin Jafar was identified as being the safe house for his kidnappers. Given the imminent threat to Luke's life, US President Barack Obama authorized a second rescue operation to free the American. From their staging point on board the USS Mackinac Island amphibious assault ship, a detachment of US troops from the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, also known as SEAL Team 6, embarked onto an undisclosed number of Osprey Tiltrotor Aircraft and took off for Hassin bin Jafar on the night of the 5th of December 2014. Unfortunately, the unit the Ospreys belong to hasn't been confirmed, although it is certain to have either been the 352nd Special Operations Wing or the Marine Medium Tiltrotor Squadron 163, the latter of which was embarked on the USS Mackinac Island at the time. Flying out across the Gulf of Aden, the Ospreys arrived over a landing zone 10 kilometers out from Hassin bin Jafar in the early morning hours of the 6th of December, from where the Navy SEALs disembarked and covered the final 10 kilometers to the objective on foot. At the same time, a ground support element provided by the Yemeni army was deployed into the operational sector to establish roadblocks around the village, thus ensuring no one left or entered the area. Meanwhile, the Navy SEALs trekked through the Abadan Valley towards the village, and it was as they got to within 100 meters of the target building that they suddenly came under heavy small arms fire from a number of insurgents. A Yemeni civilian who lived in the area later recalled, "Before the gunshots were heard, very strong floodlights turned the night into daylight, and then we heard loud explosions. The soldiers were calling on the house's inhabitants to surrender, and the speaker was clearly a Yemeni soldier." For 10 crucial minutes, the SEALs were held by the group of insurgents, whose resistance eventually crumbled, enabling the American troops to get forward and reach the exterior of the target building, from where an assault team breached and stormed into the premises. Making their way through the compound, the Americans encountered no additional enemy fighters inside and managed to not only find Luke Summers, but also a second hostage named Pierre Clarke, a South African citizen who had been missing since May of 2013. However, although the two were found alive, both of the hostages were seriously wounded, having been shot at close range just minutes before. An investigation into the raid would later reveal that a lone insurgent had entered the building during the opening firefight and had shot both Summers and Clarke, prior to him exiting the compound through a rear entrance. An unidentified US Department of Defense official explained that, "There is zero possibility that the hostages were victims of crossfire. This was an attempted execution." As soon as the hostages were located, medics assigned to the SEAL detachment began to provide medical treatment to try and stabilise their condition. whilst the Osprey aircraft were routed to a landing zone in the vicinity of the compound. Immediately on touching down, both Summers and Clarke were transferred onto the aircraft and evacuated out of Yemen to the USS Makin Island, where it was hoped further medical treatment could be provided to save the two men. Sadly, however, and despite the best efforts of all the military personnel involved, both Luke Summers and Pierre Clarke would succumb to their wounds later on the 6th of December 2014. Reflecting on the tragic results of the operation, US President Barack Obama issued a statement, part of which read, "On behalf of the American people, I offer my deepest condolences to Luke's family and to his loved ones. I also offer my thoughts and prayers to the family of a non-US citizen hostage who was also murdered during the operation. Their despair and sorrow at this time are beyond words. As Commander-in-Chief, I am grateful to the US forces who carried out this mission, as well as the previous attempt to rescue Luke, as well as to the dedicated intelligence, law enforcement and diplomatic professionals who supported their efforts."